In this video, I'm going to be talking about something that we all go through. We suffer, but we don't talk about it as much because if we do, we come across as weak. A lot of us will feel that, we're not good enough. The thing about mental health, so this applies really, so as I was writing this down, I thought to myself, hang on, this applies for a lot of things. It's not just for work, not just for studying, it's just in general. When you're going through this stuff, what can you do to try and deal with it? What can you do to try and reduce it? And when I talk about mental health, just get this straight, right? I'm not talking about the people that say, oh, look, this is all going through against me. I'm playing the victim mode and they're just playing the victim mode day in, day out. This video is not for you. This is for people that generally go through things and they want to do something about it. When I say mental health, I mean things like anxiety, negative thoughts, comparison, feeling that you're not good enough, feeling that you're inadequate, depression, these negative feelings that you'll get in your mind when you wake up, for example, and you have no idea why those feelings are coming and you don't know how to deal with it. This is what I would classify all those things under mental health. Now, remember this. I am not here to say to you that, okay, because you're going through all these things, don't worry, it's okay, and you just take it easy. Okay, you just take it easy and don't worry about it. I'm not saying that. What I want to kind of reinforce in your mind is we all go through this, but what's important is what do you do next? What's the practical steps that you're going to do to be able to tackle this? Now, of course, at the beginning when you're going through this, you have to understand the emotions and you have to understand, okay, it is difficult, and I get that, and I'll tell you a little story of mine that I went through because you'll be able to relate. But once you've gone through those emotions, you then need to think about, okay, what can I do? And this is the problem that we have in the society, which is people are just using the mental health to play the victim mode, to use it as an excuse to not do the things that they have to do. And because of that, they don't get anywhere. It's all good, it's all fine us going through these emotions. We all go through it, we're human creatures. But once we go through the emotions, we need to keep moving forward because time does not wait for you. Time doesn't care about you. As harsh as it seems, time doesn't care. Your clock is ticking, okay? Your time is going. Next 20 years, bang. 30 years, bang. 40 years, bang. Don't be those kind of people that just say, oh, you know what? Everything's going against me. My family's against me. My friends are against me. My job is against me. My teacher's against me. And I'm just this, and then that's it. You do nothing. How are you going to improve? How are you going to get anywhere in life with that kind of mentality? Yes, address it, understand it, but then you've got to do something about it. So I'll share a little story about myself when I went through this stuff as well, so you can understand that, I'm also human and I'm not perfect. So when I was going through A-levels, I was going through a lot of anxiety. I was going through a lot of negative thoughts. I was comparing myself with a lot of people. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and it put me in a very, very dark place where I wasn't really talking with a lot of people, and I just kind of was literally talking with my mind, if that makes sense. And the problem back then as well is that we don't really talk about mental health, even with my family anyway. We don't talk about that stuff. They don't have the capacity to be able to have those kind of conversations, which means that, as I'm going through this, I don't even know who to talk to. I don't even know, I didn't even have a guidance. So I was struggling with that for pretty much 2 years. Well, I would say the last year of A-level, that whole year I was struggling with that a lot because I just did not know how to deal with it. I was thinking to myself, why am I getting these negative thoughts? And it got to the stage where I would literally pray so hard, like literally pray and just recite, okay, please, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of this, because I had no idea what to do. And also back then, YouTube wasn't even a thing, right? So you're like literally confused. How do I deal with this? And because the mental side of things gets to you, everything else goes down. Your studies goes down, everything else goes down. So I had to fight that. It was an absolute mental battle. But there's one thing I did not do, which was give up. I did not give up because for me, I realized as well, as I was going through this stuff, and as hard as it was, if I gave up, I would have that regret, right? And I don't want to have that regret, thinking what could have happened? What if I actually carried on? What could have been? So that mental struggle that I was going through was very, very difficult because it felt very overwhelming. There was a lot of negative emotions, a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of dark thoughts. And when you're in that kind of dimension, in that mindset, everything else feels dark. Like even when the sun comes, you don't really feel the sun. Everything feels just dark and black, if that makes sense. So in that mindset, it's very, very difficult for, even when you have a conversation with people, for them to be on the same wavelength as you because your mind is already somewhere else. So I just want to let you know that I understand what you're going through. It is not easy. It is very difficult. And it's easy for someone, even like me, to say, oh, don't worry, do this, when I'm not even going through the emotions that you're going through right now. But I have been there. So it's just about understanding what you're going through, the emotions that you're going through, addressing it, and then trying to do something about it so you can keep moving forward. Because let me tell you this, if you stick in that mindset that you're in that mental struggle that you're in, like I did as well during my A-levels, you can't move forward. You can't get up. It is so difficult. You're just like, it's like you're locked. You're locked, and you have to unlock yourself so that you can keep moving forward. So let's get straight to the first step. When you're going through these mental struggles, when you're going through these emotions, negative, whatever those emotions are in your head, and you're struggling, stop doing what you're doing. There is no point. A lot of people make the mistake thinking that, okay, I just got to push through. Okay, you push through, but you have to also realize that your mind is not in a state to register what you're doing right now. It doesn't have the capacity to be able to take in what you're doing, whether that's work, whether that's studying, whether that's revising, whether it's doing a task. You do not have the capacity, because your mind is going through an emotional state right now, and your emotional state is far greater than the task at hand. So you've got to stop doing what you're doing right now. Stop. Take a step back and just say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put this away, and you just remove yourself from that. Because the problem with that is, if you don't do that, you're just going to go dig yourself deeper. You're not solving the problem. Does that make sense? You're just thinking in your head that, okay, I'll just keep working even though I'm dealing with these emotions right now. Nothing's going to happen. You're just going to make things worse. So stop what you're doing right now. And that leads me to the second point, which is write your feelings out. You know, this is something that I've learned, last year or 2 years ago, which was, when we're going through something emotionally, something so emotional, we can't process it very fast as our emotions are coming through, because there's a lot of emotions coming at us in our mind. But one thing I've realized is, when you're able to write those things out, it doesn't matter. You write whatever you feel. Just write it out. What you're essentially doing is you're deloading what is in your mind onto a piece of paper. And think of the piece of paper as like a hard drive to your computer. You're literally taking what's in here and storing it on there. But when you're writing things out, and when I say write it out, I mean literally just write it out with a pen and a paper. I'll just give you an example, right? Okay, you know what? I can't do the work today. I'm struggling mentally. I'm getting these negative thoughts. I don't know why these negative thoughts are coming, but I'm just writing this down right now because I feel like shit. My emotions are so high at the moment that I can't focus. I'm struggling to focus, and I just feel like I just need to deload. And as you write it out, as you start writing, you're going to write even more and more. Your emotions are going to start doing it. So don't even worry about that. That comes naturally. What you're going to realize is you're going to feel a heavy load being taken off you, because now you're just taking your feelings out on a piece of paper and you're writing out. If you have to swear, swear. If you need to write something where you need to let your anger out, let it out. Because your emotions right now are very high, and what you want to do is just take those emotions out. And writing things out and writing your feelings out is not a bad thing at all. It's actually really good. Do you know why? Because once you've written the thing out, it could be 1 page, 2 page, whatever it is, and you go back and read it, that is information for you. That is data. That is something that you can look at and learn from. So that is very important. Now, if for example, you don't want to write your feelings out and you don't like it and you're more of a verbal person, take a camera and record it, or voice recording. If you don't want to see your face, voice record it. If that's difficult, you can also talk to a friend, a family, or someone who understands what you're going through, or someone who would be able to lend an ear. There's so many different options that you can do. So this doesn't have to be like, this is how I have to do it. If you don't like doing something like which is writing your feelings out, talk, record. Find a way that is suitable for you. That is important. So the third step is, once you stop doing what you're doing, you're writing your feelings out, or you're recording it, or you're talking to someone about it, go for a walk. Go for a walk in nature. Don't put your headphones, don't listen to anything, just go for a walk. Put your phone at home, leave your phone at home. Do not take your phone with you, and just go for a walk. There is something very, very deep and very, how do I say it, authentic, and changes your mindset when you go out and you go for a walk and you just cut all the noises. Because when you're going for a walk, you're also moving your body. Your body is moving, it is not stationary. And as your body is moving, essentially your blood is moving around your body, right? And as you're doing this, your mind is going to start thinking about other things. It's going to start removing your state that you were in previously, and it's going to enter a new state. But for you to do that, you've got to cut all the distractions, and you've got to be in your own mind. I've realized that for me, going for walks, especially when it's nice weather as well. Okay, if it's raining, I don't like the rain, but fine. But when I do go for a walk, it helps me to just kind of decentralize, if that's a word, like take everything off and just kind of go in there fresh, so that when I come back from my walk, I do feel more fresh. I feel like, oh, okay, my mindset has just changed. It's not in the mindset that it was like 15-20 minutes ago, and I feel more fresh, and I can go back and do my studies again, or my work, or my task. So I do feel that doing a walk, and the walk doesn't even have to be 1 hour, it could be like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. And if you can't walk, go in your garden. Sit in your garden, for example. Or just go up the stairs, up and down. That's also another great thing, by the way. I just thought about that. Going up the stairs, up and down, because you need to get your body moving. If your body's not moving, you're in that state. You need to get yourself out of that state. And for you to get yourself out of that state, get the body moving. Because when the body moves, things change, your thought process change, you get out of that state. That really helps as well. The fourth step that I would say is go and watch something funny, like a funny video, a funny clip. You will be surprised, right? Like I've done this so many times. When I feel so shit, my mood is so bad, I get these negative thoughts. Even now as well, I get this stuff as well, like these negative thoughts, everything. And I go and watch a funny video, someone, you know, it could be a prank, someone making a fool of themselves, whatever it is, something that makes me laugh. You'll be surprised how I can take myself out of that state that I was in a couple of minutes ago, and bang, because something was funny, I smiled, I laughed. Like try this, right? When you smile and you laugh, like you actually do that with your face, like or whatever. That was a bit of a weird face, but you understand what I'm saying. When you do that, you are literally telling your mind that you are changing your state. Does that make sense? Like when I'm laughing, like smiling or whatever, like I'm literally, like I'm moving my cheeks as well. And I'm telling subconsciously to my mind that I'm actually smiling and I'm laughing and my state is better. Crazy, right? But it works. So what I would say is watch something funny. It could be a 2-minute video, whatever it is. Just watch something to get you out of the state. But that doesn't mean then go for the next 45 minutes and then watch again like all these clips. No, that's not what I'm saying, right? Watch this for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes so that you can get yourself out of the state. And then you'll see for yourself like, oh, okay, you know what? My mood is a bit better now. I feel good, because you have to get yourself out of the state. A lot of the thing with mental health that you have to understand is it's a state. We are in a mental state. So hence mental, right? So what we need to do is we need to get ourselves out of that mental state and put ourselves in a different mental state. So this is why when we do these kind of things, what we're trying to do is we're not saying that we're eradicating the problem. What we're doing is we're trying to get ourselves out of this negative mental state into a positive mental state. And if we do these things, we're able to shift ourselves from that state to this new state. That is all we're doing. That doesn't mean that, oh, I've cured mental health. No, it doesn't. You have to understand life is cyclical. It's like a sine wave. It goes like this, up and down. It's always going to be there and it's always going to come. What we need to do and what you need to do is try and find a way of, okay, how do I deal with this? I still deal with this shit day in, day out as well. It is a struggle, and I'll make a separate video on this as well. Maybe I'll do some vlogs as well when I do feel bad and, you know, feel like shit, and I'll just share it so that you can see that, you know what, I'm not always this person that, you know, seems like, okay, go after it. Like it does get to me as well. Like there's things that gets to me. So it's not that mental health is not going to be cured. What it is, okay, how do I deal with it? And if you're able to find ways of dealing with that, listen, you're already 5 steps ahead. You're moving forward, and that's the important thing. Find ways of moving forward. Don't be stagnant and staying in one place, because staying in one place, you're only going to move 5-10 steps back. You're not moving anywhere forward. Just remember that. So I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And just remember this, everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.